5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. Now, here's Tom Silverstein.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. We are here in Week 7.
Yes.
Packers are 4-2 heading into a game against the 5-1 Houston Texans. Before we look ahead to that, I want to look back at the Arizona game and ask you if you thought that that game represents anything in terms of how they're moving forward.
Well, why do you ask me something totally different that you asked Matt LaFleur? Do you like him more than me, or he gets easy questions and I get these hard questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'll say this though, Tom. It's the reason why that's a great question, because when I get to the stadium, I just want to see if it's different. And it was, because the last time the home team, they still may be thinking about Minnesota, you know?
Right.
You're down 21-0 or 24-0. But this time they're up, you know, before you blink your eye, 14-0, 21-0, 24-0. And then all of a sudden you're thinking to yourself, well, calm down. This team, Arizona, was trailing San Francisco at San Francisco.
Right.
And came back to beat them. So let's just keep playing. But it's a lot of things that I was so happy about. Of course, when Romeo Doubs caught, let me go back. When Jalen Reed caught his touchdown, and when Romeo caught his second touchdown, I just want to let the fans know who did not go to the game. It was raining. It was windy. The ball was slippery, but Jordan Love was throwing it on a rope. I was so impressed by that. And then to see the guys catching it with his hands. But what it represented was, to Romeo, we love you, man. Come, your problem is my problem. My problem is your problem. So that's what he wants to do. He's the best 50-50 catcher I've seen in a long time. If he's one-on-one, just throw it up, I'm going to get it. So that's what I was thinking about in this game. If him and Watson can get involved some kind of way, people just forget about that and just keep it moving. I love it.
I think what was represented to me, what made them look like the team last year was 9 different guys caught passes.
Exactly. I like that.
So Love was clearly taking what the defense was giving him, and they were giving him some nice things.
Yes.
You know, even though they brought some heavy pressure on him, they blitzed him. They had some 0 blitzes where they brought 7 guys. They tried a lot of different things against him. You know, have we seen the best of him yet? Are we still, you know, is he still the quarterback with a little bit of a knee issue? What's your impression of him?
No, it ain't no knee issue. He's scrambling, he's running, he's sliding, he's stepping up tall in the pocket. He has the top 3 arm talents in the league. Matthew Stafford, to me, is number 1. That the guy can just really just, I mean, Jordan Love in that win, it's going to get worse moving forward. So I just want to see his command. This is what I like. When it's on him, we used to call it check it with me. And Holmgren would just point at Brett, you know. So Brett would go to the line, 20 seconds, hard count, nobody moves. Hard count again, nobody, then they'll set the protection, then they'll call the play. And then those are the plays I like to see when a quarterback, what if your communication fails? Can you command this huddle? And not only can Jordan Love do that, but I think everybody's looking up, like, just direct us. And we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
And I love that. I just love it.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. I don't know how much, you know, what they call cans, you know, where he can go up to the line,
2 plays.
2 plays, or if he has the ability to change it to even something else. But to me, that's when, when LaFleur really lets him do that kind of stuff, then I think they could really take off because he can get them into really good plays. I mean, some of those blitzes, the one he threw off his back foot, that was a 7-man blitz, and Doubs made a great adjustment to the ball. But that's not going to happen every single time,
No.
But there are answers to that kind of thing.
But that's a good point. You also have to track the ball, and the receiver, has to know it's a 7-man blitz.
Right.
Remember the first series, Wicks didn't track the ball, so he didn't fight over to get the ball. If he fights over, he may get a pass interference. So the receivers have to look in, and, I know what play is called, but I got to go.
Yeah.
Or I got to slant. And I got to go, and if he throws it to me, a 50-50 ball, I got to fight to that ball because the DB may be inside. The DB can't see the ball.
Yeah.
But if I'm fighting towards the ball, I may get a pass interference or I may catch it.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of stuff is just so great if your quarterback is doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy, man. I was talking to some people on the West Coast, and they said, yep, you guys did it again. I said, what? Got another quarterback. I said, it took you that long? I didn't really believe that last year. I thought he would come back to earth, but even when he threw the interception, when I think 80 fell down, I think.
Yeah.
It didn't bother him.
Yeah.
And you know what I told that young man? Go listen to every one of Jordan Love's press conferences. I bet you couldn't tell when they won or lost. He's the same guy. That's so refreshing and they feed off of that.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Romeo got the second touchdown and they all did a group hug?
Yeah.
Hey, man, I want that. Remember the catch Gene Reed had against the Rams? I want that picture on my wall, and I want that picture of all them hugging, because all you see is love, and you see 87 in the middle.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I believe in this team.
Another aspect of their offense that is really surprising, intriguing, whatever word you want to use, is their run game, which they rank, I believe it's second in the league in rushing, which when have the Packers ever been second in the league in rushing? Not since before Mike Holmgren or Lindy Infante was here. Maybe when Forrest Gregg was here or something like that. But
maybe Mike Sherman wasn't.
Yes. Mon Green year 2003. And they ran the Power O over and over and over again.
U71.
People
knew we were going to run it. It didn't matter.
Which is what kind of brings me to their run game. And, I don't know how much better their run game is. I think it is better, but it's also different from what it was with Aaron Jones. Just different. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think it's a knock on Aaron Jones, but there seem to be just a little bit more diverse. They run some zone stuff, and then they run gap plays, which maybe you can explain what that means.
I mean, the power plays too. That's Josh Jacobs. In between the tackles, we really didn't run Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones was more of a perimeter, zone block, and give it to him. He could pick his hole.
And then cut back.
Just cut it, and he may be gone. Josh Jacobs, we got people pulling. We got a misdirection, and then we're coming up in there. They just got to give him a little bit more push. But I like the attempts are going up. Mm-hmm. He had 19 attempts again. He has to have 25 touches for this offense to say, man, you know what? Their play-action game is on point because we never know. Because Jordan Love ball handling is amazing, but your protection has to be good. The protection has been very good.
Yeah, it really has.
He has not been sacked a bunch of times.
I think only 8 times. I think the Packers have given up 8 sacks all year, and I think that's like number 2 or number 3 in the NFL.
See, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Most of these offensive lines, other than Detroit, got one of the best, if not the best line. But if you can like Jordan Love went to his 3rd, 4th progression, I guess Matt LaFleur calls it a hitch. When he's looking, I actually like that. That means it's good, but all that is based on the running. game.
Mm-hmm.
When you bring 31 in, that's another power back.
Yeah, yeah.
They even gave
with
up
more explosive ability.
Yes, they even gave one of the reverser in the rounds to Bo Melton just to put it on tape.
And
So
and
that
I
was
think
nice.
I think that's their way of saying, you know, keeping teams honest. Like we're going
Absolutely.
to run between the tackles most of the time,
Yep.
but you better be ready for us to give the end around.
Yeah.
And I am very interested to see if they can get when they get Marshawn Lloyd back, whether they can make him a part of that, because his speed to the outside is that adds an element that
No, you're right
they
about
really
that.
don't have, and that's the element they had with Aaron Jones, was he could get around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Jacobs is not that guy who's going to get around
Yeah.
the corner. Manuel Wilson, probably not. But you know, that'll be
Emmanuel
interesting to see.
Emmanuel got that speed that'll fool you because he just pick him up and put him down. But I just like that, to your point, if they can, when the weather started to change, you're going to have to run the ball a little bit more.
Yeah,
If you got fresh guys rolling in, that's going to be hard for teams.
yeah. And then defensively, I think you couldn't have played Kyler Murray any better than they did.
No question. He
No.
only had 13 yards rushing.
Right. I mean, they just kept him in check. You know, the Cardinals, that was a bad day for them. They must
Yeah.
have lost like 8 guys to injury.
Yeah.
You know, they were down. Their right guard and right tackle situation is just abysmal. But all that said, you know, it could have been one of those games where Murray just runs, and they didn't let that happen.
No, I think that was the thing about it because he did a 50-yard touchdown run in San Francisco. You think, okay, he's going to run around. And some of the quarterbacks move around a lot, have been giving the Packers a little bit of problem with Hurts and Richardson. These guys run all over the place. But at the end of the day, you're just thinking, I was sitting in the alumni box next to Antonio, and they had a couple first downs. I said, it's just a matter of time. Because in Halfley's mind, if they show him on camera, he's not even panicking. Because sooner or later, they're going to get a turnover. Getting 3 fumbles is hard.
Yeah.
That is, you know how hard that is?
Yeah.
I think you can get 3 picks quicker than getting fumbles. Because it's a fumble is a guy running and lets it go by mistake. That's a fumble. A takeaway is what Evan Williams just knocks it out.
Yeah, punched it right out.
That's a takeaway. And that just demoralizes a drive. Say you're putting together this 8 to 9 play drive, and he knocks it out.
Yeah.
Jair gets it.
And the James
That's
Conner
awesome.
one, you know, he's almost to the ground.
Yes.
But they rake it out of there just
Yes.
before he hits the ground.
Yes.
And I mean that's what you need. They're averaging nearly 3 turnovers per
That's
day,
crazy.
3 takeaways per
That's
game.
crazy.
They had 18 all of last season, and they have
Yeah.
17 now.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, you can't live by that, but
Well, you
hey,
can.
ride it while you can.
You can live
know?
by that. That can be your thing. That's your brand. People know that now. Because I have family in Houston that's come to the game. Oh man, we know your defense. We know they better hold on to the ball. So people know it.
Where
It
did
is.
Arizona not throw the ball the entire game?
In the middle.
Right. Deep
You
down
better
the
stay
middle.
away from 29.
Right.
I was wondering when that's a good point.
So that's like a third of the field that he has taken
Yes,
away.
don't you
from
throw it in
opposing
here. Nope.
teams. You know, we will show they did have 1 touchdown. In fact, we're going to show it on here.
That's that same play, Tom. Go back to last year against Tampa.
With Mike Evans.
That's the same play.
Oh, good. When we need to talk about
The
that.
same play. It's a difficult play, but you got to be disciplined because you're going to see it again.
Right.
Trust me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. A couple things I want to talk about. One.
Don't bring up special teams and nervous.
Okay.
Okay, good.
I'm not
Okay,
as
go
down as everybody else is on him. I think if he was like really hooking the ball and like bad slicing it, I'd be more worried. But all but that one kick, actually all the kicks were straight and hit firmly. I don't know why that one tailed, though. We'll find out when we go back and talk to Bisaccia about it. But
Yeah.
you know, you saw Greg Zuerlein miss He's a fine kicker. He missed two.
And it was
field
windy
goals.
too, but that's not. You're close. You got to make them, man. In the 30s and 40s, he was in the 25. He's hooked it, and I mean, it caused, So any kicker can miss a kick, but when you see guys like Koo from Atlanta, a walk-off 58-yarder.
Yeah, indoors.
It don't matter, man. 58 is a long way to attempt.
Yes.
They got guys attempting 60-yarders, and because the anxiety is because if Carson would have made that one in San Francisco, it's a different ball game. Right. So I get that people have anxiety.
Which, ironically, he just got picked up by the 49ers, Carlson, to their practice squad. They've got two injured kickers.
Oh, right.
One's on injured reserve, and the other guy threw his shoulder into a returner and hurt it. He may or may not kick this week, but Carlson could be kicking at Levi's Stadium for the second game in a row. We'll see.
Oh, my goodness.
That would be interesting. Let's talk about Houston. So, the Vikings just destroyed them at Minnesota, but since, then they're back on track and they're looking like a pretty good football team.
And they lost, they hurt me too, because I had the number one receiver in yards, Nico
Collins.
Hurt his hamstring. When you're real fast like that, see, I was really slow, so I didn't have hamstring problems. Right. But the fast guy, they're gonna probably miss. He's on injured reserve, I think. But they still got Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, and those guys get deep. And they got Dalton Schultz at tight end, because McBride had 8 catches for like 96 yards. He's a good tight end with Arizona.
You still got to stop Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon, man. Joe Mixon is the quintessential running back that does everything. He can go from 30 carries to 11. Remember they played Indianapolis. He had 30 carries, and he's fine with it.
And he didn't play against the Vikings, so that tells you how valuable probably he is.
But they're a very well coached team.
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud.
Nico Ryans he can coach some defense too. Yes. That defense is.
We do have a pool going though. If you want in, who's going to have a tighter shirt? Their head coach or ours?
LaFleur or all those guys from that tree wear tight shirts. Sean McVay.
And I know what they're saying. If you look like us, you wear a tight shirt too. But
they just want to show you that they have time to work out. Really good coaches don't have time to work out.
They do both. That's not true. But real quick, I want to say this. I respect this team because, Tom, in the draft, somebody brilliant said, you know what, 2 things can be true. We can get C.J. Stroud and get Willie Anderson.
Yeah.
And they got both of them.
Yeah, they did.
Willie Anderson is something you've never seen coming at the quarterbacks. All he wants to do is get sacks. But in this defense, you can run the ball and you can throw, but you got to be disciplined.
Yeah.
So, but in their offense, they're going to run the ball, play action, and they want to throw it deep.
Yeah, that's the one AFC South team that.
This could be a Super Bowl preview. Yeah.
Wow, that's saying something.
Well, I said New Orleans. That's what Super Bowl 31 was.
Yeah. I want to talk about the NFC North while we're at it. From record standpoint, by far the best division in football. Is it for real? Have they just been beaten up on the AFC South? What do you think?
It's for real because Detroit is the gold standard of a 2-headed running back system, Super Bowl experienced quarterback, and that team has a lot of talent. And I also want to say I feel awful for Aiden Hutchinson.
I do too.
I mean, the guy was on track to be just a phenomenal, led the league in sacks, 7.5, and that defense is still good though. But Minnesota, people think they're coming back. I think the only thing that hurt them real quick, they had their bye too early.
Maybe, they were on a roll there.
Now they're on a stretch. And you think Sam Darnold may come back, but he may not. The Bears are something that we haven't seen in a long time. A quarterback to just listen to the coaches, run our stuff, don't do it by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to do all that crazy stuff. We're going to run the ball with Swift. Keenan Allen is healthy. We got the biggest tight end in the league. He's a big target. So yes, this is the best division at this point in the league, because I don't know when the last time I've seen all 4 teams above 500.
Yeah. What Detroit did to Dallas was just a travesty. I mean, but to add on to your point about Eden Hutchinson, it just made me sick.
Yeah.
Beside the fact that it was a really gruesome injury.
Yeah.
You know, you want, if you're a true competitor, you know, as a fan, you know, with the Packers are, well, we don't have to face him. That's probably a good thing. But if you're a true competitor, you want to face the best.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean,
Absolutely.
and to not have him there is just a shame, because
When it's your leader, it's your best player. Just like when we didn't have Jordan Love for a couple of weeks. I mean, Malik was a hero. He came in there, stepped up. They'll have another guy come in, but he's not 97.
no, your whole blocking scheme is based on him. You
That
know?
was amazing.
Yeah. So that is really a shame for them.
Yeah.
But they are, like you said, they're still a really good team.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah.
Packers don't play another division game for 2 more weeks. They play Houston, Jacksonville, and they're done with the AFC South. And then they better get their act together, because then comes the hard part of the schedule.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go to your prediction.
Well, again, on the road outside, this is a dome team coming in. C.J. Stroud, he played at Ohio State. The weather won't bother him. And actually, the weather's supposed to be really nice. I think like 60, 70
That won't be a
degrees.
problem.
But this team hasn't played its best football yet, and that's scary. They have not done it. And when they do it, you'll realize that the youngest team in the league, they want all the smoke. So I'm going to say the Packers 34, the Texans 28.
Got barn burner going there.
Yeah.
All right, good.
A lot of
Don't
scoring.
forget X's and O's. We are going to look at that play that dogs the Packers.
We need to
coverage
draw that one up.
Yep, we will. And then we'll also look at the impact Christian Watson has on this offense too. So, what do you think?
Please go to MilwaukeeWindowGuys.com. Right now, they already had low prices on windows and doors. Now it's an extra 20% off on top of that through the end of the year. So if you're thinking about it, go to MilwaukeeWindowGuys.com. Tell them LeRoy Butler sent you. And please use the keyword LEAP, L-E-A-P, to make sure you get that extra 20%. And we'll take good care of you. And again, just make sure you use your phone, scan that QR code to take the LeRoy Butler experience. Anywhere you download podcasts, please download the Leap 36 podcast.
And don't forget to log into the blog. It is now subscriber only, so we would like you to subscribe so you can take so we can take part in it. Maybe we'll even make some kind of a offer that can get an autographed picture of
we can do that.
Of you and I.
We can do that.
It'll only be autographed by me.
Wait a minute. You had me till you said you and I. I'm going to pass
We'll
on
see
that.
about that. Anyway, on to X's and O's. We'll see you next week.
Bye.